Respiration in bacteria. Respiration in bacteria may be aerobic or anaerobic, or some bacteria are facultative or some are microaerophilic. So its question is, how bacteria respire? Explain its mechanism. Its answer is respiration of bacteria. First point. Or you can say that types of bacteria on the basis of respiration. Mostly bacteria are of 4 types on the basis of respiration. Number 1 is aerobic bacteria, or you can say that aerobic bacteria require free oxygen for their survival. They can grow in the presence of free oxygen. Second is anaerobic bacteria. As the name indicates, these bacteria can grow in absence of free oxygen. Third category is facultative bacteria. Such kind of bacteria are neither aerobic nor anaerobic, but they are facultative, means they can grow in the presence or absence of free oxygen. Fourth category is microaerophilic bacteria. Micro means small, aero mean air, or philic mean loving. Such bacteria require a low concentration of oxygen for growth, and they are known as microaerophilic bacteria. Pseudomonas is an aerobic bacterium. These are examples of some important types of bacteria. Spirochete is an anaerobic bacterium, while E. coli is a facultative anaerobic bacterium. And Campylobacter is a microaerophilic bacterium. So these are 4 main types according to respiration in bacteria. Next is growth and reproduction. So bacterial growth means increase in size and increase in number of bacterial cell. Bacteria normally reproduces by means of binary fission. Bi means 2 and fission means simple splitting of cell. So basically binary fission is a mean of asexual reproduction in which one parental cell divides into 2 daughter cells. So now we discuss important steps of binary fission. The first point is that first of all parental cell enlarges. Second is its chromosome duplicate. Third point is plasma membrane pinches inward, means cut inward at the center of the cell. And when pinching of cell membrane is completed, the fourth point is that nuclear material has been equally distributed and cell wall grows inward to separate one cell into 2 cells, like this diagram. During binary fission, first of all, its first parental cell, it enlarges. Then secondly, its DNA duplicates. Third step, its cell membrane pinches inward, like fourth diagram, means cut inward, which results cutting or separation of one parental cell into 2 daughter cells, like this. And these are the main 4 steps of binary fission. The duration or time of interval until the completion of next division is known as generation time. The whole time period which takes during this division is known as generation time. So generation time is very important for each kind of bacteria. Next, phases of bacterial growth. Mostly 4 important phases of bacterial growth are known. Number 1 is lag phase, which is commonly known as phase of no growth. Bacteria only prepare themselves during this phase for division. It is basically a preparatory phase with no division. Log phase. It is a phase of rapid growth during which bacteria grows or divide with exponential rate, means ideal rate. Next is stationary phase. Stationary means sakin, still, not moving. As the name indicates, in this phase, bacterial death rate is equal to bacterial rate of reproduction and multiplication. So this phase is basically in equilibrium phase. Next is death or decline phase. As the name indicate, decline mean कमी होना, किसी चीज़ का कम हो जाना. So bacteria start dying. In this phase, death rate is more than reproductive rate. So this phase is also known as death phase. As bacteria have no mitosis and no sexual reproduction, there is no proper sexual reproduction or mitosis in bacteria, but bacteria reproduces a primitive kind of sexual reproduction or genetic recombination, which is known as conjugation. So basically, conjugation is a type of primitive kind of sexual reproduction or genetic recombination during which one bacteria donates or transfers its genetic material from one bacterium to another bacterium, which is commonly known as recipient bacterium, through a conjugation tube or through a bridge-like structure. So conjugation is important mean of sexual or genetic recombination in bacteria. Instead of conjugation, some bacteria uses specialized sex pillars to transfer genetic material. So conjugation produces new genetic combinations that allow the resulting bacteria to survive under great variety of conditions, and they have great advantages for survival. Importance of bacteria. First of all, we discuss its ecological importance. As you know that ecologically bacteria are very important. They act as decomposer and their main role is in biogeochemical cycles. So bacteria are ecologically very important. They are highly adaptable as a group that are found everywhere. They are able to decompose organic material and play a significant role in the completion of cycles, different cycles like phosphorus, nitrogen, sulfur and carbon. So ecologically their main role is as a decomposer, and second role is in biogeochemical cycle. Next we discuss economic importance of bacteria. So economically, bacteria are very important. Their main role is in industries, food production, drugs production, antibiotics, in vaccination, in biotechnology. They are also responsible for some negative roles like their role in spoilage of food and vegetables, and their role is as pathogen. They act as plant pathogen, they act as animal pathogen, they act as human pathogen, means they causes different diseases in plants, animals and humans. So economically, their role in industries, in biotechnology, in antibiotics production, and as pathogen is very important. Medical importance. Bacteria are very common pathogens of humans. Means they causes many diseases in humans. Approximately 200 species are known to cause diseases in humans. So next is control of bacteria. Control of microorganism is essential in home, industry as well as in medical fields. By controlling microorganisms, one can prevent and treat diseases. Spoilage of food and other industrial products can be inhibited by controlling microorganisms. Microorganisms can be controlled by various methods. Number one is physical method. As the name indicates, in this method some physical agent like steam, dry heat, gas, filtration and radiations are used to control bacteria. The process in which we use some physical agents to control bacterial growth is known as sterilization process. Sterilization means destruction of all life forms. While high temperature is usually used in microbiological labs for control of microorganisms, both dry heat and moist heat are effective. But their impacts are different. Like moist heat causes coagulation of proteins. Coagulation means PPT formation. So when protein becomes in PPT form or in precipitation forms, it causes death of bacteria and kills, as a result they kill the microbes. So moist heat is very important because it causes coagulation of protein, while dry heat causes oxidation of chemical present in microbes, and as a result, by the help of dry heat, due to oxidation of chemicals, bacteria kills. Certain electromagnetic radiations, which are commonly below 300 nanometer, are very effective for killing microorganisms. Gamma rays are in general used for sterilization process. Heat sensitive compounds like antibiotics, serase, which is singular, its singular is serum and its plural form is serase, or serase means liquid portion of blood or any liquid. Hormones can be sterilized by means of membrane filters. Actually, by using membrane filters you can filter or sterilize these kinds of chemicals like antibiotics, hormones, and these are all heat sensitive compounds which are sterilized by use of membrane filters. Next is chemical method. By using some chemical methods, one can control bacterial growth, and there are three main things which are used during chemical methods. Number one is antiseptic, second is disinfectant, and number third is chemotherapeutic agents. So as the name indicates, chemotherapeutic agents are used for microbial growth, to control microbial growth, or you can say that chemical substances that are used to that are used on living tissue that inhibit the growth of microorganisms are called antiseptics. Anti mean against. So these are chemical substances which are used on living tissues that inhibit the growth of microorganisms. Septic mean infection and anti mean against. Remember, antiseptics are chemical substances that are used on living tissues for controlling microorganisms, while disinfectants or disinfections, as the name indicates, these are chemical agents like halogens, phenol, hydrogen peroxide, potassium permanganate, formaldehydes, alcohol, and many more. Such chemical agents which inhibit the growth of vegetative cell, and they are only used on non-living material. Such chemicals are called disinfectants. The major difference between antiseptics and disinfectant is that antiseptics are used on living tissues, while disinfectants are used on non-living material. So this is the main difference between antiseptics and disinfectants. The third important method used for chemical control of bacteria is chemotherapeutic agents या chemotherapeutics. These are basically agents that work with natural defense system, and they stop the growth of bacteria and some other microbes. There are many kinds like sulfonamides, tetracycline, penicillin. They destroy or inhibit the growth of microorganisms in living tissue. They work with natural defense system, means they can boost or they can they make strong their immune system, their defense system. So can someone control or immune their defense system to control microbes. Microbicidal effect is one, or microbicidal effect is that kill microbes immediately, while microbistatics is the inhibition of reproductive capacities of cell and maintains the microbial population at constant size. So this is the main difference between microbicidal effect and microbistatics effect. Microbicidal effect kills the microbes immediately, while microbistatic process inhibit the reproductive capacities of cells, so that cells cannot reproduce further, and if they don't reproduce further, they are automatically inactive in their action. The third main process to control bacteria is immunization and vaccination. Immunization is the process for making the body immune, while vaccination is the transfer of some vaccine into the body to make you more immune. Immunization is a process in which the body becomes immune, or you can say that it gets resistance against diseases. Immunity is produced by vaccination, while you can say that vaccination is the inoculation or transfer of weak or dead germs of certain disease for which we are taking vaccine. It is usually used against viral diseases. Or you can say that the introduction of antigen or some other foreign particle or substance into the body to induce production of antibodies against the particular antigen. So vaccination and immunization are very important techniques which are mostly used to control bacteria, and these terms are very important for examination point of view. Students also read these two terminologies in chapter number first. These are very important. In 1880s, Pasteur isolated the bacterium responsible for chicken cholera, and he also induced or performed different experiments on milkmaid or on different things, which suggest at the end he suggest a vaccination process and immunization process. So the word vaccine is derived from Latin word vacca, which means cow. So these are very important processes used to control microbes. Then Pasteur also made a vaccine for hydrophobia or rabies. Hydro mean water and phobia mean fear, or water fearing or water hating. So hydrophobia is a disease which is commonly known as rabies. It is a disease caused by or transmitted by people's by bites from rabid dogs, cats and other animals. Means commonly you can say that rabbit mean पागल, कुत्ते के काटने से हो गई ये बीमारी रेबीज़ की, या पागल बिल्ली के काटने से हो गई, या सम अदर एनिमल्स के काटने से हो गई. तो हाइड्रोफोबिया और रेबीज़ वैक्सीन इज़ नाउ अवेलेबल, and it's all the credit goes to Pasteur, who also made a vaccine for hydrophobia. So these are the three different methods which are commonly used to control bacteria: physical method, chemical method, and then immunization and vaccination. So these are different methods to control on bacteria.